What's up, guys? It's your boy Noto coming to you with another video, man, with another podcast, man. And in today's podcast, we're going to discuss signs you are more attractive than you think. So, guys, I've come across a couple of videos I wanted to share and definitely do like a little format, a little bit of analysis. Um, in the beginning of this, I want you guys to understand that this is more of a channel where they talk about more of facial attractiveness and stuff like that. But guys, I talk about being magnetic, but we're going to get right into it as you'll see.
You are still not quite sure where you fall in terms of attractiveness compared to the general population. So in this video, I will go over the ways to tell if you are a Chad. This is anything from 7 and above on the look scale.
See, when they say stuff like this, they're mostly talking about the facial attractiveness and this whole type of deal. But you're gonna see what I'm talking about as we move on.
This is an extremely small percentage of the population, so try not to be delusional as, the more based you are, the easier it is to improve. Number 1. You get direct compliments on your looks from girls. This is by far the best indicator you are attractive, yet
Definitely get compliments from women, guys. You're gonna get direct compliments from guys. I mean, from women, guys. Excuse me on that one. They're gonna tell you how good you look. I've had girls come up and tell me how good I look. I've seen girls tell other men how good they look, and like based off of just their attraction of what they see right in front of them, they're definitely gonna compliment you.
so many people either confuse this with people just being nice or talking about non-looks variables. For example, this does not include anything that is describing your personality, and it also does not include compliments on style, nor observations, such as you're tall or you're muscular.
And this right here, like no, this is why I have to disagree with them on that one when they say such as like you're tall or you're muscular, because all that fits into how you look as a man. All of that fits into your attractiveness. It's not about just face. So I can tell what kind of channel this is, but I'm not really getting. I'm put it like this. I'm not really going to go against this guy's his content. I mean, I understand what kind of content he's making, and I understand what the reason he's making this type of video. But and it's not to shun him. He's making good content. He's definitely going to make some good points in this video. But you already know, guys, we preach about becoming magnetic, and being magnetic isn't just facial attractiveness. Definitely height does play into that as well, but at the same time, you don't have to be the tallest guy. You don't have to be the most aesthetically attractive in the face either. The muscular part is a good way to get the results that you want. You want to be magnetic, you want to be sexually attractive to a woman, as opposed to just being a cute guy, just having the facial attractiveness all the time. Now you will get looks, you will get attention and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, do you want a chick to look at you and be like, dang, he's hot, or he looks cute, or or handsome and stuff like that? It could be a big difference between those two things.
It's important to make this distinction because many guys think any nice thing said about them equates to attraction. This is untrue. The
That's definitely true, because a lot of guys do get things misconstrued, but not under the premise of those things that he mentioned, though.
compliment has to be specifically about your facial attractiveness. The most common ones that will let you know you are in Chad ranges are compliments to do with the eye or jaw area, as these are most dimorphic and thus attractive, whereas a
I'm gonna tell you right now, guys. I get a lot of compliments on my eyes. Per se, I definitely do get a lot of compliments from my eyes, but I don't look like none of these guys. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't look like none of these guys, and a lot of you guys don't have to look like these guys to be getting compliments on you. One, I never heard a woman give a man a compliment on his jaw. I never heard about that. I heard that from guys say that, oh, this guy has the prominent jawline, but I never heard women. I never come across women saying something about a man's like jawline. Like what a woman looks at a man and say, okay, he's attractive. They look at the whole picture. They look at the whole. They look at the man as a whole. The face is a part of the man, but it's not like, okay, the showstopper. They want to look at everything. They look at everything else. Now, if things are pronounced and you're looking at your best self, you can become more attractive by having prominent cheekbones and stuff like that. But I'm just saying it's not the end all be all. And if you don't have it, it's not like you can't have successful results with women. And if they compliment you on your eyes, okay, I hear that more from the women with the eyes and stuff like that. But like I say, at the end of the day, it's still just a part of the whole thing. It's not the whole thing. That's kind of like the problem with this type of advice right here. But I get where he's going with the looks maxing, but I hate when it's only just centered upon only looking this good in the face, and they make it seem like everything else doesn't really come into account with these situations. Like earlier when he said if you're being complimented on your musculature, that can be enough to get you in the bed with the chick, height and all that, all that in combination. That guy can have like an average looking face or a normie, like what he calls them, and he can still get the chick. You see what I mean? So it's just it's kind of it's almost like a letdown for most guys because they want people to look up to the Hollywood stars and stuff.
Compliment about skin would hold less value. Also, this obviously has to come from strangers. Everyone's mother thinks their son is a Chad. Next is similar to the first one, but it is you get a lot of looks in public, from both women and men.
That is a definitely the truth. That's definitely the truth. And I was telling guys, like, especially after my glow up and stuff, that it was a lot of times where I just didn't want people staring at me. I didn't want people looking at me. And I didn't I wanted to wear hooded jackets and stuff, but it didn't work at times. It's like it's not an on and off switch to it. And I'm not saying I'm the most attractive man in the world, but it just you will get attention. You can tell when you look good. You can tell when you're an attractive man. You will get that type of attention. It's just given. Now it ain't gonna always happen like all the time. But I put like this. It's levels to it. Some days it's gonna be heavy. Some days it might be light. Some days it's gonna be like okay, whatever. But it depends on. It's gonna be different days, different type of results. But for the most part, you will be getting choosing signals in one way or another, especially like from the women. And unfortunately, especially if you don't swing that way from the men.
And you may often catch women looking at you only for them to avoid eye contact or start smiling. Another thing Chads may experience is women going very quiet, sometimes stopping mid-conversation and or trying to get their friends to notice you. On the
Yeah, like I told you guys, they always consult with their friends. They always want their friends to know what type of guy that they're attracted to. So they're definitely going to be on that type of time.
inverse, you may get looks from other men, often looks of jealousy or signs they are threatened by you.
Guys, I talk about this all the time on my channel. I talk about this all the time, guys. When you get a chance, just go and put in Noto content hate and the word hate after my YouTube name. Just put in Noto content and hate. You'll get all the videos that you need to see when it comes to this particular topic, guys. Like I have so many of these videos made because I had so many experiences. That's how I know that I don't like I'm saying you don't have to look like a Giga Chad like all these pictures that he's showing to have these types of experience because I don't look like these guys, but I look good enough to get signals and get and experience the things that he's talking about in these videos. All I'm saying is you ain't got to be at like the top pinnacle is what society would say that you have to be in order to have these types of experiences. It's just the real world advice. It's the real world. It's reality. It's the truth.
Again, it's important to not be delusional and mistake people looking at you to always mean they see you as attractive, because sub-5s also get a lot of looks. However, there is a difference. It's something you would have to experience a lot to understand fully. Another one, which is actually a huge sign you are a Chad, is you get a lot of attention from homosexual men. Being a
Man. Oh man, man. I also mentioned this in the video, and I made an entire video on this right here. It's called "Unwanted Attention from Homosexual Men." I've definitely talked about this before, and I've experienced this so many times. It's to the point where I really just had to. It's hard. It's hard because you can't be nice to him, and you can't like try to be too mean to him. It'll come off as hate or it's really it's hard to try to navigate with this. So you want to be cool to the point where it's like, okay, you stay in your lane. I don't hate you. I'm not homophobic or anything, but you stay over there. I'm stay over here. I do my thing. I don't swing that way, but you're cool. But just like try to be just neutral with it. Coexist type deal. But it's crazy when you be the smallest hint of nice to them, it's almost like they take it as an invitation, and it's like and that's when it gets crazy right there. That's that I've dealt with this, and it got to the point where it was like I seen what women was feeling like when when creepy guys go at them. That's the same feeling you get when guys are trying to hit on you. I swear, man. I swear, I've definitely dealt with this guys, it's not fun. It's nowhere near fun, bro. Like it's weird, it's creepy. It's like I see what the women are going, what they be going through when having those guys like stare at you and look at you, try to grin at you, try to be around you. Like having a guy like actively trying to pursue you, bro, that is ridiculous, bro. I've been in those types of environments, and it's definitely on some creep kind of weird types deal. Especially when they know that you're straight, bro. A lot of them will know that you're straight and still will go after you, bro. So it's like it's man. Trust me, I got so much to say on this topic, bro. I didn't been through this so much, so much.
Attractive to women also by proxy makes you attractive to gay men, and this can lead to either them clearly hitting on you or people assuming you are gay.
And that's the big problem I had as well, because of the fact that those guys were hitting on me in this type of environment. I was slowly starting to get looped in with them. And I had to go and I had to hurry up and go and like clear my name off that stuff. I was like, hold up, that's not me. That's I can't control who attracted to me. So I had to really it took work, but I was like, dang, I finally got the veil of them thinking that I swing that way because these guys are really like trying to come after me type deal. Like it was crazy. I've been in a couple of environments like that, mostly like workplaces, and I had to clear the air. Like, hold up, this ain't what it is. It's because that's because they doing they I can't control their actions. Now I can't control like okay them not disrespecting me and coming up on me, but I can't control what they're attracted to. That's the main thing. So then you have people trying to assume things just because they hear that a couple of those guys got a crush on you. That doesn't mean it's mutual. You see what I'm saying? So it's this the type of environment you will end up being in when you consider the attractive man and they find you attractive and they actively start pursuing you, bro. It's not a it's man, that's aggravating, bro.
As gay men tend to look smacks more than straight men. This is especially prevalent if you are more of a pretty boy. If this has never happened to you in some way,
Yeah, I'm not. And the thing is, I don't really consider myself a pretty boy, but it's just I do keep myself up, and to the point where I've had women compare me to having feminine type features, so that could have made people think that I was, I guess people can look at you and be like, okay, you got feminine features, and feel like, oh, this is the way things are, and trying to put everything together just because those guys feeling you in this type of way and all that, and trust me, I had to be that. I had to do that. I really had to like step up with my masculine because I'm like, no, no, I'm not. This is not me. You know what I'm saying? So I really had to clear the air with that because me having feminine features did not help me at all. And the thing is, my features are natural. I have natural eyebrows and eyelashes and stuff that look like this. This is not no enhancements and none of that stuff. So that on top of that definitely didn't help my case with trying to say that okay, I'm not on that side of the fence, and all that. So they see the long lashes, they see the way that I keep up with my skin, so it can definitely make things harder for you if you do keep up with yourself and not saying like you doing like the absolute most. Just you really doing the bare minimum, just a skincare routine, keeping your skin good, and just caring about how you look when you walk out. And you don't have to do that much, and they'll call you a pretty boy for that. So
it's unlikely you are a Chad. Finally, you do very well on dating apps. This not only means a lot of matches, likes, and so on, but it also means you are able to do this with low effort.
yeah,
All
I do agree with that. Definitely agree with that, and on the dating app thing as well. So that's definitely part of the things right there. That's one part right there, guys. I have another video I'm definitely going to react to for you guys from this same guy. He definitely has some good content on here. So we're going to go and get into the next one right now.
undoubtedly a benefit. It improves almost every aspect of
I'm
your
going
life.
to go back right
Being
quick.
attractive is undoubtedly a benefit. It improves almost every aspect of your life, and it is something most people desire to be. Yet there are some downsides to being attractive, which we will go over in this video. Firstly, is the attention. Now most people go through life as a normie.
And he calls them the normie, right? The normies are the guys that probably don't look like what they would say those guys that he's showing in these pictures look like. But to be honest with you, if you can be a normie like what he's saying and have like a crazy looking physique, bro, you can definitely watch this video and have those same you can have these same experiences he's talking about in this video. Trust me, because a lot of the male exotic dancers and stuff like that, or people that have an above average level physique that look like they lift and build, they got a muscular physique, a good aesthetic looking physique, will go through this as well.
and therefore receive zero attention from anybody. Attractive people get a lot of attention. And whilst there are benefits to this, such as being validated by women, this can also be quite intimidating, especially if you're more introverted. As people will often be looking at you in public settings, this attention from women also leads to negative attention from other men in the form of jealousy. And
Definitely, definitely. Like those times I told you guys I did, why I didn't feel like getting no attention in those times where I used to like I was glad from COVID times because I used to able to wear a mask and kind of stay around because it's like you gotta understand when I made my glow up, I wasn't used to getting any looks. I wasn't used to chicks checking me out and stuff like that. I wasn't used to all that. So on days I'm more of an introverted person. I usually like to stay to myself. So when I used to go out to the grocery stores and stuff and end up garnering this type of attention, I used to get kind of didn't want to get that because of that. It was the chicks on top of not wanting to be bothered, on top of the guys hating with their girls and mate guarding and holding every time I come around, they holding their girls tight or trying to walk in front of their girls and stuff. I was like, bro, I'm not even trying to do that. I'm just shopping type deal. So they end up being threatened by you just because of how you look, bro.
so lead to men trying to subtly assert dominant signals by acting aggressive towards you, due to
Definitely a case right there. Definitely. They try to be aggressive to you, they try to challenge you. And it, like I say, if they can't compete with you in that area right there, they try to be like, okay, at least I'm tougher than him. He can't fight, or he's soft because he look like this. And they don't know nothing about you but how you look, so they automatically feel threatened. So they feel like they gotta challenge you. They feel like they gotta big boy you. They try to little boy you. So that's how that works.
mate guarding or general insecurity. Generally, it's a lot harder to go unnoticed due to you standing out, and this can be highly intimidating or annoying in certain scenarios. As many of us simply do not like being the center of attention due to introversion or such, most attractive people seem to be extroverted, but it's not necessarily that they are, but rather they have learnt to pretend to be due to the constant attention throughout their life.
You know what? I get what he's saying with this too, because just you become extroverted, but okay, I'm gonna just gonna start interacting, and it'll make things easier instead of just trying to run from it all the time. And I don't know how it feel to be that all my life. I wasn't really that all my life. Like I say, guys, you seen me, I had a glow up. So from the time that I glowed up and was still in an introverted state, and I had to, it kind of forced you to come out of your scale. I mean, come out of your shell because once you become magnetic, like you're gonna have people coming from each way wanting to be cool. You got guys that want to be cool. You got guys hating on you. You got women wanting to be around you. You got people that you in these social environments. You're gonna be attracting people. So one way or another, you're gonna have to. It's almost gonna force you to be social in one way or another. Especially if you like to go out and you think you're just gonna sit there and nothing happen. Nobody attracted to you. Nobody gonna try to come up to you or stuff like that. It's gonna happen when you magnetic. You gonna have to get used to that. So I see what he mean. It's gonna force you out of your shell and force you to be more social, which could be a good thing because you don't want to be to the point where you're just shut off from the world. But when it's unwanted and it's like constantly unwanted, then I see what it means.
Another downside, which is something that is universal but more noticeable when you are attractive, and that is vanity of others. You will notice how women treat you based on your looks, and this can lead to you feeling objectified. In fact, the two people who experience the black pill, the greatest are in fact sub 5 and chads. Normies actually experience it the least. The next downside is that you have higher
It's crazy about these terms he's using, like the sub fives, the chads, and armies, the black people. I'm not really a big. I don't really know like the terminology like that with him and all that, but yeah, that's what's out here, guys. That's what's going on out here, guys. It's a different side of things. I just want to show this type of video because this type of content is out there, guys, and I don't want a lot of guys to get discouraged and feeling like they can't have that they can't become more attractive or they can't and have to look a certain way for things for you to have these types of experiences. Like you can have this type of experience when you have a nice physique for sure. That's definitely the case. I've seen guys that have like faces that don't even look like, I guess what this guy would say, call his them faces normies, or well, I don't know what the sub 5 thing is or whatever, but I guess ugly or regular looking dudes. I've seen ugly looking dudes that you would say from society, ugly looking dudes, but had good physiques and football physiques, smashing really pretty chicks. So I mean, and it wasn't about no money either, because especially being in college, bro, you don't, and they wasn't no star players either. So being in college, they ain't had no money and none of that stuff. So none of that was really in the, none of that was the deciding factor. So it was not like the what the chick was using. I mean, she had other guys to pick from, but they were smashing this guy. This guy had some charisma. He had the physique. He was there at the right place, right time. Sometimes that's all it take right there. Like all the, there's nothing wrong with caring about your looks and doing that, but don't beat yourself up just because you don't look like guys like what he's showing on this video. I'm definitely going to keep reiterating that point because that needs to be said, and that needs to be spread it like wildfire in this space.
Expectations. When you are attractive, people seem to generally expect more from you, whether that be occupation or intelligence. Now, this isn't necessarily bad in itself, but can lead to feelings of being a failure or not, where you should be, as there is so much expected of you, due to
Yeah, the high expectation thing is something crazy. That is a crazy thing too. Like especially like in the workplace, or if your attraction is coming from your physique and your body, they expect you to be able to lift the craziest stuff, like you're a power lifter, or you be at work at the warehouse. They feel like, oh, you should be able to lift that up, and it's like way heavier, and you can't even lift the thing up with good form, so you end up hurting yourself trying to show out for them because you got muscles. Like man, it's stuff like that too as well. So and then when you go out with chicks or you go out, they expect you to be able to just pull every group of chicks. They, especially if you with guys that's really depending on being around you to get the chicks and bring them around. I've been in those type of situations as well because they've seen how I did when I was going out. So they'll feel like, oh yeah, we can hang around him, and we can let the environment. We can feed off of what we can feed off the fruits of his labor, and just let him be magnetic and get the chicks over here, and we can just talk and kind of just using me as bait, kind of. I've been in those types of situations before as well, but they have the expectations of you breaking the chicks over there and everybody just gonna eat, but it's not really like that. It's not gonna always be like that, especially when the chicks are they finding you attractive and they tell those dudes that they don't find them attractive at all. And I've had groups like chicks that come over and they just only talk to me and don't want to talk to them. And that's the type of stuff that'll end up getting people like to turn on you and stuff like that. So you definitely gonna deal with situations like that. So if your friends ain't really on the same type of time or able to have the same effect with women that you have, and you know what to say to even add to that, it can be guys that can pull women just like you. It can be guys that can pull women just like you, and they still will get jealous because it's a particular chick that they wanted that wants you instead of them, even though they got 2 or 3 chicks to talk to over there. So it can still happen, even if it's a guy that is attractive and can get chicks as well. But it's even worse when it's guys that can't get the chicks, so they don't even have options, and they got no choice but to hate. But this guy, he got options, but he still want your girl type deal. So that's the big problem when you hanging out with other guys that you consider attractive and can get women as well. So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't type deal.
due to the
Better
halo
to be
effect.
alone in a lot of cases.
The next downside is something that affects most women as well. But it is the paradox of choice. You see, when you are attractive, you naturally have more options, but this then leads to a harder time making a choice, and often as a result, and the fear of missing out on the best choice, leads attractive people to a more promiscuous lifestyle, which has a lot of potential problems in the short term and future if
Hmm.
they are not careful.
You know what? I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. That's definitely a big thing, and I can see what he's talking about on the women's end, but on the woman's end, having so much to pick from. That's why when you that's why when the looks get the girl with the looks, but you gonna have to hook her with your personality type deal. Your personality and the way you make her feel and all that stuff. All that stuff has to tie in. You have to make that emotional connection with her. That's what's gonna put you apart from all the other guys as well. Not on top of just relying on your looks just to just set yourself apart. There's so many other guys that look good as well that'll be in the inbox. Not just saying that you're just extra common, because it's not really that common for guys to be super attractive and all that. Like, and I play this in a whole bunch of spaces like that. But she can come across other guys that do look good to her, and just relying on the looks in and of themselves, that's not gonna be enough. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to get that emotional attachment. You're gonna be like, okay, he look good too, or she'll be like, he look good too, and but on this end, I got an attachment to the guy. This guy, I mean, he gonna make me feel the way this guy does. So when you get her emotionally attached, when you get her into you, so you hitting her with two different things. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just, see, when it's just only on looks, it's like baseless almost. Of course, she'll look at you and she'll probably, okay, you have a sexual attraction. That'll be a good base. That'll be a good start for it. But to build upon that foundation and to be able to maintain that and keep that to keep that going, you're gonna have that emotional attachment. You have to make her feel a certain type of way, make her feel good around you. You know, something like that she want to just keep coming back to it, not just with the intimacy and all that. I'm just saying, like, making her feel a certain way, like in her head, like emotionally type deal. So the looks, you're gonna hit her with the looks, you're gonna love to look at you, and then love the way you make her feel. So that's a double whammy. So she's less likely to go out and try to do the most when you're making her, when she got everything she want there, you know. But some chicks ain't gonna be satisfied. But I say for the most part, that's what you're gonna hook them with more so than just depending on your looks. So yeah.
Also, attractive men are often a target of female envy. Women may do very bad things to get revenge on a guy who broke up with them specifically. This tends to
Mm.
happen if he is attractive, as she does not feel as if she can replace him, so may lash out.
Oh yeah.
Just look
Oh yeah, that's the truth. That's definitely the truth. Oh yeah, that's when they start busting out the cars, and that's when they start going for your possessions and all that other stuff. That's when they start tripping and doing the most. That's when they start doing the most. Yeah, but yeah, it hits different. It hits way harder when it's somebody that they found a really attractive. They know they can't just easily replace like that. And like I said before, what I just said earlier is that that emotional attachment is what's going to set you apart as well. It's not just that you look better than a lot of guys that she would come across. She might come across another guy that she might see that look just about on par with you, or probably she would view probably look better than you. But like I said, she got more attachment to you because of the emotional attachment. So you hit her in so many different ways. You made her feel so many different ways, you know. So on top of the emotional attachment, you got the physical attraction. That's just too many things at once that she's not willing to let that go because she's too invested in you. So even when she views you as attractive, but all that other stuff just kind of just puts the nail in the coffin.
at any of the numerous videos of men and women being the target of jealous attacks from an ex-partner.
Mm.
Finally, is that attractive men constantly get approached by unattractive women. You would think being attractive means all the most beautiful women approach you 24/7. Now,
Oh yeah, they're definitely bold. That goes back to my point of you can't control who you attract. You can't control who you attract. Like all those guys that you see, and that's celebrities and stuff. Like you look at the crowd and you look at their concerts, you'll see a lot of women that probably wouldn't be deemed as the most attractive women, but they all up there and they all screaming and they all doing this. So you think they just gonna go up to those chicks and be like, "Oh, you ugly? You're not finna." They gonna be nice. They're gonna show them some respect or whatever. But it's gonna get to the point where you're gonna have to find out a way to start letting them down easy. You have to find a way to start like not just you're not going to be mean. Don't let them down, mean and stuff like that. But it's not going to always be easy to do that as well, because you do that, they'll take it as they'll take it as offensive, and they'll try to like turn up on you. Now, if they try to turn up on you, then you just gonna have to handle your business. It just is what it is. But that's usually the type of territory they'll try to take it in. But in a lot of cases, you're gonna find yourself in a position of just trying to just be nice and be cordial with the situation. And especially if it's in the workplace or somewhere that you need to be around more often, you don't want to stir up any feathers by just blatantly just rejecting them in a certain way. You go like when you in that situation and you viewed as an attractive man, and I'm just gonna tell you that right now. In order to keep the peace type deal in your situation, you just gonna kind of just keep things cordial. you're not gonna really say a yes or no, but like I say, you ain't gonna take things forward with them. You're not gonna really try to lead them on like that. But you will just probably just be nice or whatever. Just just kind of this kind of be a little distant, but not to the point where you just blatantly doing stuff because they can make your life hell. And that's happened to me in workplaces. So like I say, I mean, some guys you could be like, hey, the hell with that. I ain't dealing with her. And you can do that. That can be your MO or whatever. But what I'm saying is, man, it's not always the easiest situation to be in because trying to tell them no and let them down and all that. It's just like I said, we don't really care about that, but it depends on what type of situation you're in. Like if you out at the club and you just okay, that's fine because you don't really got to see them like that no more. You can go to the other side or you can leave the building or something. But if you somewhere where you got to work or somewhere that you frequently want to be at and they frequently there and it can possibly you know um get in the way of you making your money and stuff, you might want to tread a little careful in that situation. Even if you could be like, and then you don't want to go like tell her, hey, this girl keeps trying to flirt with me and stuff like that. You don't want to be that guy either. Trust me, you don't want to be that guy either because it's gonna get around that you a snitch, even though it's a reasonable thing, but you still a man and that's a woman, and even if people agree with you, you'll still be looked at as around the job as a snitch and stuff like that. So that's gonna have another target on your back. So there's just so many things when it comes to this type of situation and letting them down easily and trying to just keep the peace in these types of situations, especially like at work, school, and stuff like that, where you got something to lose. It's definitely paramount when you view this as an attractive man.
Whilst they, of course, will get choosing signals from attractive women due to most women being severely blue-pilled, they will also get these same signals from unattractive women, as most women believe they can get and should get the most attractive man. And
That's definitely the truth. Definitely the truth. They definitely believe they are in line for the most top tier men and stuff like that. But there's definitely a reason why that is.
this can be uncomfortable having to deal with rejecting people clearly not on your looks level. Also, this attention isn't solely going to come from women, but also men, which
Crazy, yep, definitely is, man. But I just wanted to share this video with y'all, man, because it's just crazy, man. Like those are the type of things, though. This is a signs that you are more attractive than you think, because this is how it goes, bro. You gonna have to deal with that attention. You gonna have to deal with the things I said earlier, and you're gonna deal with the downsides. That's why I told you the downsides. You facing some of this stuff right here, you're definitely attractive. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen just anybody, bro. And I've noticed these things happen to me on a repeated basis. This repeatedly happened to me. So this is how it is, guys, man. But anyway, it's your boy Noto coming to you another video, coming to you another podcast, man. If you're enjoying the content, please click that like button, go on the comment, go on subscribe, click that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop a video, man. And we got a Patreon where I talk about sexual dynamics and my experiences, bro. I'm out.